So, what is the LSAT really testing? It's testing your understanding of relationships, and an argument is just a relationship. So, by now in your journey, you probably understand that when you're reading any logical reasoning section, you need to identify the premise and the conclusion. That's the very, very first thing. What is the conclusion? That's the main point of the argument. How do you identify it? Well, what is the order and where are the arrows leading in the stimulus? The premises are ultimately supporting the conclusion. So if I find a conclusion, because it'll have an indicator word like therefore, then I need to find why. Why should I believe this? Because premise one, premise two. Cool. So that's our argument. And then what it's going to be testing you on with more of the harder logical reasoning beyond just can you find a conclusion. Do you understand fully what a conditional statement is or a causal statement? Do you understand valid logical inferences? So what I was doing when I was studying before is that I got really good at labeling. I understood what the sufficient condition is, I understood what the necessary condition is, and I understood how to manipulate them. But I didn't actually understand what it really meant for something to be sufficient and for something to be necessary, and why something can be logically invalid. So I just wanted to make this video because I assumed that there might be people who also didn't fully understand. So what is sufficient? Let me give a conditional statement. If A, then B. A is sufficient for B to happen. B is necessary, B is required for A. But, if there isn't a sufficient condition, if we somehow find out that A got X'd off, the whole argument is destroyed. We know that. We know that it's invalid if we find out that A doesn't exist anymore. We can't make any valid inference from that. Why? Because there's still other ways for B to happen. That's what it means, because B is kind of just within the relationship of A and B. B is just enough. It's just required in this relationship, but it's not sufficient. So, as an example, if it rains, then the floor will be wet. I can say it didn't rain. That doesn't mean I can say so the floor isn't wet. Why? We understand it in the rules of logic, because that's just a logically invalid thing to do. If there isn't A, then we can't say that there isn't B. Yeah, but understanding it conceptually is greater. It's just that there are other ways for the floor to be wet, right? So the reason I'm bringing it up is that you're going to ultimately see causal relationships. They're going to be testing you on, the stimulus will be on a science experiment or a medical problem. You need to understand that logic greater than just labeling it. There are other ways for the effect to happen. When you're dealing with logic, it's still going to look the same if it's a conditional statement or a causal. If A, then B, or A causes B. But your understanding of why it's invalid or valid matters when you're trying to weaken, when you're trying to strengthen, when you're trying to do a parallel analogy, anything that requires a bit more thinking with the logic beyond just, if A, then B, then C, then A to C. I know you can do that inference, but do you understand fully why you can make that inference? I think that's the most important thing. You need to understand on a deeper level the relationship. So that's my video for that.